Yes, right here for you. I'm your man Curtin, ICE, shadesradio.com, hip-hop-lives.net. You know how we get down. And, you know, it's been a nice week here doing things around the old homestead. So I haven't been able to get on here. And I want to say like I should or like I could, but yeah. This is just random. This is just random as hell. Whenever you hear it, you hear it. You know what I mean? This is very, very fucking random. You know what I'm saying? It's and you know what? I almost think the less people that hear it, the more exclusive and important it is. Now I'm gonna say that, and it's a weird thing because, you know, I've been thinking about this, and actually, you know, my man Ransom brought this up to me the other day, and it kind of fits into this whole thing that I wanted to talk about real quick. But first, let me just say that, you know, this is communication, this is talking, this is audio, right? But every time mostly time I get on here, and I know that didn't make much sense, but most of the time when I get on here, I always try to think of it in a show format. But I've been hating that idea for a long time of trying to present shows, you know, with the beginning, middle, and end, and a set of concepts and topics to talk about and places to go on, because it's just like almost pointless sometimes to go through all this effort and do this thing when it's not fully understood for what it is, or the importance of what could be said using this audio format is not fully utilized. All right? Because like what I was saying a couple of times ago, if y'all listen to any of those other ones, was I mentioned an idea that, you know, YouTube hits in a way don't fully signify what's an important video. Let's just put it like that, right? The number of hits you get, the number of friends you got, the number of social media likes you have, that doesn't necessarily signify the importance of whatever you have, because those numbers lie in a sense, because they're utilized by people. Numbers in their essence, of course, you know, numbers are numbers, facts are facts, so we always say numbers don't lie, but people do. So the manipulation of numbers is a constant thing. Every time you see a number, most of the time it could be involved with a spin. Like there's a spin been put on those numbers. Now I'm gonna get to the YouTube hits in a minute, but even with statistical research, you'll see me, like if you check out the book Hip Hop, know what I'm saying. You know, you go on Amazon and check for it. I talk about statistics a lot in there, right? Because statistics are used to manipulate what people think about things. And when you hear people say, everybody's lying to you, the whole world's a lie, understand that is true in a sense, all right? But back to two other things, and don't get that twisted. I'm not I'm not here to lie to you, all right? This is one of those rare places where somebody's just actually sitting here telling the truth. That's why it's so important and special, all right, that you understand that. Now I'm gonna get back to two other things. First, this audio format, all right, when you're using it just in the context of a show, you don't get across the full meaning of what it means for two people to share an interaction. Now, this is a one-way communication, all right? This is me talking to you, all right? But it's an interaction nonetheless, all right? Because maybe from something that you hear, certain things might trigger in your mind that spark other thoughts. And that's the whole point of communication. You want to say things to me that spark thoughts in my head. I want to say things to you that spark thoughts in your head. Now, personally, I want those to be good thoughts and all that stuff. So, and there's a lot of people that do that, obviously. But most of the people are not really trying to spark good thoughts in your mind. They're trying to get you to do something, maybe just laugh at their video for amusement. But what they're really looking for is that hit, that YouTube hit, all right, so that they can further their careers in some form, or feed their ego in some way with that next social media like, you know. But those YouTube hits don't really signify the importance of what it is that's being said. Like I was trying to mention the other time, was that some of the most important videos, man, like some of the most deepest shit that you'll ever see on YouTube, it might not have a whole bunch of hits on it. All right, there might not be a whole bunch of hits on. You know, Alan Watts does get good hits. I mean, people know who Alan Watts is now. You know, but there's some other people that are in that same genre of giving you just information on the spirit and the soul and in ways that human beings think. You know, any number of people that might be talking about those same things. And those are some of the most important things in life. But that's not getting the most hits. You know, David goes to the doctor, or, you know, somebody getting hit in the balls, or somebody, you know, falling off the side of a building, or fucking Terrio and his little fat stomach or whatever. Like, shit like that gets the most hits. That's not the most important shit in the world, obviously. That's far from it. Right? So in comparison to, let's say, for instance, Alan Watts, you people might, you know who that is, right? You just look him up, Alan Watts, YouTube, you'll see what he talks about. But somebody like that, they're not going to have as many hits as the latest fight compilation from World Star. Right? They're not going to have as many hits as that. So does that say that the fight compilation is more important? Does that say that it's something more significant going on that thing? No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't mean that, right? But see, now let me get to what Ransom was saying, all right, and what he reminded me of. Let's put it like that. And I'll just give you another illustration. Now, of course, when you see anything on Shades Radio, it's not going to be a whole bunch of hits on there. But don't take it for granted that some of that same footage could be some of the most important thing that you might hear. It might spark a thought in your mind. Now, I want to give you an example of that in a different way. Because, yeah, I've done experiments. I told you about that. And I did an experiment on here with the Spreaker thing. You know, talking about anything that might seem relevant and important that I might, you know, think, versus talking about something that has trendy qualities to it. So, for instance, like when I put up the one about Iggy Azalea. Now, it's not even the fact of anything that I might be saying in it. It's just the fact that in the name of it, I put regarding Iggy Azalea. So all of her fans will check it out. I didn't put it out for her fans necessarily. I just put it out to see if putting a name like that would change the amount of hits. And it did, dramatically. All right? Now, does that mean you sit there and just talk about Iggy Azalea, Nicki Minaj, and every little trendy Gucci Mane or Chief Keef or whatever related to hip-hop? Nah, man, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, maybe if I was just getting paid for it, then, you know, I possibly could. But other than that, you know what I mean, I can't waste my, you know, regular time, you know what I mean, talking about such drivel. Even when Cats was, you know, talking about the, you know, the battles and stuff, like, I can't fully go down that lane for so many other reasons. I have to talk about that some other time, but that's just another lane. It would be easy just going to just talk about every little battle that comes up, and I bet you I could get a whole bunch of hits off of that shit. But, you know, that has its own problems too. All right. Now again, you know, the stuff that you might think is dope or whatever, or real popular, it might not necessarily be important. That's one thing. But then at the same time, the stuff that you see might only be getting a hit because of how it's promoted, or the name of the video, or something like, or the keywords and the tags and the links in that video. So the very same video that no one sees might be have a title change and some keyword and tag changes, and then everybody will see it. Right now, again, we're not dealing with the importance of the video, but even that shows you this, the distinction of the footage. And let me, all right, to just give you a full example of that, let me give you a personal example, which, like I said, my man Ransom brought up to me. All right. You know, Jay-Z has a lot of interviews on the YouTube, right? There's a lot of Jay-Z interviews. Okay, you know, I have one. Right, it's one of my better, you know, hit videos or whatever. It's got like 77,000 hits on it, which is pretty much really nothing compared to a lot of videos, right? That's nothing. 77,000 hits is nothing, right? So let's look. Jay-Z is a popular figure, one of the most popular figures in the world, probably in the field of hip hop MCing and being a hip hop mogul, right? So let's go to YouTube and type in Jay-Z best interview. All right. So Jay-Z best interview, what comes up is Breakfast Club, you know, 105.1 Breakfast Club, 874,000 hits. BBC Radio, 855,000 hits. I don't know who that is. But they've got like 390,000, 334,000 hits on different Jay-Z interviews, right? Now, up in this list, you know, my interview with Jay-Z doesn't come up. Okay, it doesn't come up. Obviously, like I said, mine has 37,000 hits, but there's stuff in here with 600,000 hits. You know, Jay-Z on David Letterman, that's got 626,000 hits. You know, different that's you know, Nardwuar, you know that guy, that weird guy from Canada, Nardwuar, right? He has an interview that has 1 million hits, 1.1 hits, right? 0.13 hits on here. So let's type in Jay-Z rarest interview or Jay-Z rare interview, because that's what I kind of named mine, rare interview, right? So what comes up is nice, good vintage interviews with Jay-Z. 36,000 hits, 93,000 hits, you know, 23,000 hits. Still, mine's not in there, even though I've got 77,000 hits on it, because I didn't fully name it and tag it right at the time when I put it up. Right on here, of course, shout outs to Blacks in Action TV. That's my man Dwayne Forrest, and that's where you could see the Jay-Z. It says Jay-Z first interview from 1995, which probably would be one of those first rare Jay-Z interviews would have been done by Blacks in Action. Shout out, like I said, shout out to Dwayne Forrest, and that's where you'll see, you know, my man James Billings right there. You know, Craze Nays doing an interview section on old school Blacks in Action TV cable show. We used to do cable shows at the same time. All right. Now, that was back in the 90s. All right. And actually, I think probably one of the rarest ones on here is the Blacks in Action TV video with Jay-Z and Biggie in an interview. And that's got like 27,000 hits. All right. Now, as funny as it seems, again, my video where I said Jay-Z rare interview is not coming up because, again, like I said, it's not tagged. It wasn't tagged right. And so you got videos with 41,000 hits, even though the interview I have has 77,000 hits. But that's not the main point that I want to make at all. The main point that I want to make is the video that actually has the most hits. All right, Jay-Z speaks about Illuminati in 1996. You see that? Illuminati. And then it says rare, must see. Right? It says Illuminati. Right? Now that video has more hits than all the other Jay-Z interviews, including the one on 105.1, including the one on BBC, including the one on David Letterman, including the one that Nardwuar did from Canada. Right? Now that has 2,000,000.12 hits. All right? Now that's put up by Harlem Night TV 100. But the funny thing about it is, it's actually my video though. It's actually just a bootleg of my video. So on there, you see me interviewing Jay-Z, and it says Shades Radio across the bottom of it, because he just somehow bootlegged it off of YouTube and posted it up. All right. But the video that actually has the most hits of